as we wait for the movie to come out in December, or maybe the next trailer comes out, I thought it might be fun to discuss the songs. And I'm including the song orders from both the 57 stage production and the 61 film. Steven Spielberg has said they're going to be more closely following the original stage production, which is why you'll find that some of the lyrics are going to be different and the song order might be different if you've only seen the film. The actors are all going to be doing their own singing, so there won't be any dubbing like there was in the 1961 film. I wonder if there's going to be an overture or not. The stage production in 1957 did not have an overture. They just started right with the prologue. An overture was added to the film, so I don't know if today's audience would really have the patience even for that, or it would just make the movie longer. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised one way or the other. I'm just kind of curious if there will be or not. Of course, you're going to start with a prologue, and that really just is going to set the whole tone of the movie in terms of the music, the choreography, and the dancing. The music is West Side Story. The music and the choreography, the way they're so intertwined, and just the amazing score, so they haven't shown any snippets of it. I do wonder if they're going to keep any of the Jerome Robbins choreography. I am looking forward to the new choreography with Justin Peck, but just the Jerome Robbins, there's just some certain things, that is just so ingrained into the DNA of the show. I can't imagine just having none of the signature Robbins choreography at all. Okay, next up we've got my man Riff singing the Jet song with the rest of the Jets. He's my favorite character, and Mike Feist is playing him. And Mike is a great choice for Riff. I mean, he's been on Broadway, he's Tony nominated, he can sing, dance, and act, so I think he's going to do a great job. So next up is Something's Coming by the character Tony, being played by Ansel Elgort. Now, Tony is the only character that has 2 solo songs. So I looked at some videos online and found that, yeah, he's a really good singer.
I've really never been in love before.
So there we go. He's got a really nice tone that's going to suit Tony's songs really well. I could practically hear Something's Coming with that voice. So next up is Dance at the Gym. You can tell just by the little snippets in the trailers that the choreography is going to be great. And I'm really looking forward to hearing the music as well. David Newman is arranging Leonard Bernstein's score, and Gustavo Dudamel is conducting. And if you go online and look up Gustavo Dudamel, West Side Story, Mambo, it's so fun. He just brings such energy and passion to it. So I think it's going to be great, so I'm really looking forward to this number. So next is Maria, sung by Tony. I know people love this song. It's really not one of my favorites. As a kid, I just remember thinking, oh, it's so boring, and he's just walking around, and there's this fake city in the background. Now that I'm older, I can really appreciate the song a lot more. And I can see that it is pretty, and it really does capture that love-struck feeling, when you first fall in love with somebody. And also I appreciate it just because it's a hard song to sing well. There's a lot of low notes, a lot of high notes. Just the phrasing of it is difficult. So, I can appreciate it just on a technical side as well. So the song has grown on me a little bit. Still not my favorite, but I can understand why people like it. So next we have the balcony scene. That's where Tony finds Maria on her fire escape and they sing Tonight. So one thing I thought was interesting was in the trailer when they had Maria singing that verse of Tonight. I think she might sing that on her own, like Tony's not there.
Tonight, tonight, the world is full of light.
Tony and Maria usually sing that line together. So it's very possible that he's just on the other side of the stairs and she's just singing to him rather than them doing that part of the duet together. But I really think it sounds like she's alone there. So that could almost be like her equivalent of Something's Coming for the dance. Like, the world is full of light. She's excited, like she thinks something's going to happen or she wants something to happen. Or it might be this is where she came back from the dance after they met and that's how she's feeling, before he finds her. And I do think they'll kiss once or twice during the song, because that's what they do in the stage play. Because remember in the 61 film, he gave her a kiss on the forehead, and it just seemed so awkward. Tony and Maria in this adaptation, they definitely seem to have more chemistry, I think, than they did in the 61 film. Rachel Zegler has a gorgeous voice, absolutely beautiful. So she's going to sound amazing. So I just am looking forward to it. I think it's going to sound great. So next we have America, which in the Broadway version only includes Anita and the Shark Girls, but in the 61 movie, the number was changed to include Bernardo and the rest of the Sharks, and that was a great change. It really took the number to another level and, talked about racism and fighting and the different experiences they've had. And in the trailer, it almost looked like the men broke through while the women were singing, so I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of started off with the women and then added the men. Plus, we get to see David Alvarez dancing more. I mean, he's a fantastic dancer, so any chance we get to see him dance, good with me. So does anyone know definitively if it's pronounced Alvarez or Alvarez? I've heard it both ways. I thought it was Alvarez, but then I saw a video when he was 13 years old and he won his Tony Award. I know. With the other two boys for Billy Elliot, they pronounced it Alvarez, so then I thought it was Alvarez. So now I'm confused. If anyone knows, just let me know in the comments. Thanks. They were really smart to make this America number completely different than both the Broadway show and the 61 film. That number is so iconic. If you tried to make it similar or in the same setting, it would just suffer by comparison. So they did the smart thing and they made it completely different by setting it during the day. They're running through the streets. They're involving the community. Anita's wearing that yellow dress with the red underlining. It's just a totally different vibe, and it's great because now we have 3 versions of the same song, all with a different take on it. Okay, next is Cool, and that is a huge difference from the film, because in the film version, they moved both I Feel Pretty and G Officer Krupke before the Rumble, and then they put Cool after the Rumble. I really like those changes, and I think most people did. They made sense. If they do follow the Broadway version and Cool is before the Rumble, the good thing about that is that it'll be really fun to see Riff perform that number. It's a really dance-heavy number. And we're just so used to seeing Riff do Officer Krupke from the movie, and Ice, who wasn't even in the play, is the one who did the Cool number in the film. So I'm curious about, where it's going to take place. I doubt they're going to choose the same setting, the parking garage and things like that. That's just too close to the original film. So I'm really curious about where it's going to take place, what the choreography is going to be. Is anybody's going to be in the number because they are in the Broadway version. And then most likely will be One Hand, One Heart is my least favorite. That's what's so great about the score, is that even the songs you don't like are not bad. I mean, there's a reason why everybody has the soundtrack to this, And just the little clip that we saw in the trailer where I think that they're going to have One Hand, One Heart. It's going to be in a church this time instead of at the bridal shop. So we'll see how it goes. Again, that's just Tony and Maria singing, and I think they're going to do a good job. So next is the Tonight Quintet, which is a great number. I just think it's amazing how you can have 5 different parts going, and even when they're all singing at the same time, you can kind of pick out each part. Like, it's not this cacophonous mess, it's really amazing. When I saw Brian Darcy James was playing Krupke, I was like, oh, are they going to add him so it's going to be a sextet? But I really don't think it is going to be. It just kind of crossed my mind, but I do not think it's actually going to be that way. But it's a great number as is. I think the only difference is in terms of, the film versus what we'll probably see that's going to be more like the stage production is just, a couple lyric changes. For instance, when Tony sings, he's going to sing 2 verses. Whereas in the film, he sang 1 verse, and then Maria sang the 2nd verse. Remember when she was very interested in the drapes, looking at the seams, where she sang that part. But in the stage play, Tony sings that part, whereas Maria sings a little bit later on. So they'll probably do that. Other lyrics are Anita. I think they'll probably just use the original lyric where she says, he'll walk in hot and tired. So what? Doesn't matter if he's tired as long as he's hot. But beyond that, it's just a great number, and I think it's going to look and sound great. So after Tonight comes the Rumble, of course, and then this is where definitely big differences between the film and the stage. At the beginning of Act 2 is I Feel Pretty, and then they move that before, the Rumble in the film. are they going to follow the stage play or not? I think they will, though, because in the trailer, we saw Maria walking with her friends in front of the department store, right, at night. And it looked like they were doing the I Feel Pretty at night. So first of all, lyrics-wise, they're going to use I feel pretty and witty and bright. I pity any girl who isn't me tonight. You know, with so many people being familiar with the 61 film version, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of comments, oh, they didn't want to use the word gay. When, of course, that has nothing to do with it. In the original stage production, this song takes place at night, so it rhymes with bright. They only changed the lyrics later on for the film because they changed the song order around, so I Feel Pretty took place during the day, hence the rhyme with gay. I said this in another video, but I wonder if they're going to sing that in Spanish. We'll see. But just from what we saw in the trailer, I think it's going to be like a fun number. Because she works at a department store now, not at the bridal store. So they're going to have a lot more space. And it looked like there's going to be more people. It's just going to be, I think, a bigger number, is my guess anyway. So in the stage production, after I Feel Pretty, Tony finds Maria after what happened in the Rumble. Of course, they're both upset. But then it turns into this dream ballet sequence where the Jets and the Sharks are, you know, playing and dancing together, like with no hostility, you know, imagining a world, I guess, as it could be. There's someone singing somewhere off stage. Eventually, the dream turns to a nightmare as the reality of what happened sets in. They return to where they started in Maria's bedroom, and I think they finished the last couple lines of the Somewhere song. So that whole dream sequence was cut from the 61 film, and they just ended up having Tony and Maria just sing the whole song themselves. Now, I don't know if they're going to do it in this film or not. The one thing that makes me think that it might was Rita Moreno was singing Somewhere in the trailer. So I don't know if that Somewhere is the song that was in the film. And if it is in the film, I can see it very well being part of that ballet dream sequence. Or they could have just used the Somewhere song in a completely new way in this film. Is it December yet? I can't wait to see this. So next comes G Officer Krupke, which again, just placement-wise, you can see why they moved that song, you know, before the Rumble in the film. But if they're following the stage play, G Officer Krupke would come next. Maybe they're going to do their own thing and not follow either. But anyway, in the play, if they do follow it, next would come G Officer Krupke. You know, as a kid, I didn't realize how dark really the lyrics are because they make it so peppy and funny and ah ha ha, you know, and the music is all bright and everything and they're acting silly. But what they're trying to say is pretty serious. So I'm very curious to see how they play this. Like, is it going to be all jokey, or are they going to try to find a way to make it maybe more serious? But you don't want it too serious, right? I mean, it's still a fun number even though they're talking about serious things, right? In the play, it was action and another jet that sang this song, whereas in the film, it was riff. So I'm very curious to see how they do it and who's going to end up singing it. So after Officer Krupke, if they're following the stage play, would come A Boy Like That, I Have a Love. That's going to be Anita and Maria singing. I think Rachel and Ariana are going to sound great together, and they're going to crush that number. And I wonder if A Boy Like That is going to be in Spanish. So during the taunting scene, there's no singing, but there's kind of a sinister version of America that kind of plays. And then we come to the finale, and Tony and Maria sing a little snippet of Somewhere. I wonder if they're keeping the ending the same. Do you think they'll change it and go like full-blown Romeo and Juliet? I don't know. So, those are my thoughts on these songs of West Side Story. I'm really excited that there's not going to be any dubbing, the actors are using their own voices, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing this in less than 2 months now.